Good morning, this is Professor Will, CBMD PhD. And today is Friday, May 13th, 2022. It is 9:46 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And as you can see, you can hear the birds chirping. Just a few days ago, I had written an essay on ethyl nitrophenylphenyl phosphorylthioate, for example. And today I have to finish my essay on Physostigmate and Physostigmatic venenosum. I'm going to continuation. And you hear the birds chirping. It sounds so beautiful. I'm outside enjoying the beautiful spring morning weather, and it feels great. And I just woke up not too long ago, so it took a few recordings to get this right. But anyways, I have to finish up that essay, and it's kind of late. It's Friday morning. Maybe they're behind time. They got staff shortage. Who knows? But I definitely got to get my hat on if I'm going to take a walk. The sun's kind of getting intense here. Solar radiation, kind of hot this morning, beaming down on me. Feel the neutrinos flowing right through my body, though. I feel energized at least. Like I said, it's a beautiful day out, and you can hear the birds. A lot of traffic in my area. It's a small area. Well, it's a quiet area, I would say, and there's a lot of traffic. People are going to work, and the buses are going by and stuff. So, overall, it's going to be a good day. I feel it's going to be a good day. Can't wait to work out with Megan and see Tina again. And it was a good night with Sabrina last night. We spent 2 hours just, talking about our passions and what we like to do and everything we like to do. And like I said, Sabrina is starting to be a good friend of mine. I just met her not too long ago. She was in the hospital sick for a while, but oh well, she's feeling better now. So I'm glad she's doing better. So. There's a lot going on around me. I have a lot of friends. I mean, I don't get out a lot, but do have a lot of friends in the city. And when I do get out there, I'm always talking to familiar faces, everybody I see. And most of the people I grew up with going to school are moved out to bigger cities now, like Toronto and Ottawa, because you can't find work in a small retirement town like this. So they're all moved out. They're all moved out of the city, and I don't see the people I went to school with. I don't see those guys anymore. They're all, like I said, they all moved either to bigger cities or smaller places. Most of them went to Toronto, and some of them went to Montreal too. And a lot of them are French from this area. There's a lot of French people, so they can manage well in Gatineau and Ottawa, Montreal, and those places, no problem. I've never spoke French in my life, but I had enough time trying to learn English in school. And took French class, but I didn't like it. I took extra math instead. I didn't like the French class. So my special ed teacher got me doing extra math during French class, and I scored high in math. And when I was in high school, I scored even higher. And I was an ace in math when I was a kid. Probably better than I was with English, to tell you the truth. English was never my favorite language. I wouldn't say favorite language. English was never my favorite subject, I would say. But I kind of neglected history too when I was a kid. But I did win the science award when I was young in elementary school. I won, I was ostracized at school. I couldn't play sports whatsoever, and I was always last pick when playing sports like basketball or volleyball and things like that. Floor hockey and ice hockey. I was always last pick. Nobody wanted me because I couldn't play sports. But overall, I was good at badminton, and everybody said I was really good at badminton. I had good agility for badminton because it was like a single sport where you could play in double teams, where it was just a more quieter sport, where it's just easier to navigate and have your own mind to think. So I won the badminton award, and I also won the science fair award because I can tell you stories about science fairs over the last couple of years in elementary school. I was out there and helping people with their science fairs, and teacher would always, Mr. Castaneda would always get me to go around the class and help people with their science fairs. He was a good teacher. I liked him. A lot of people liked Mr. Castaneda, and that was at Mother St. Bride's. He was a good teacher. I liked him. And he always told me how good I was with science all the time, and he always told me to help people out, so I was always doing good with that. And I had a lot of fun with science when I was a kid. I wish I would have stayed the rest of high school, but like I said, I had to move out of the house at a young age. But I did pick up when I moved out and did my high school and my college and eventually my university, and followed up with that. But like I said, because of my misophonia, it's hard for me to work in environments that are difficult for me, difficult people, and working on it, definitely working on it. I could do much better, that's for sure. But like I said, it's my passion to be a professor and work in a small classroom. And it doesn't matter whether you have 2 people or 1,000 people. The presentations are quality for me, and I'll put everything I have into a presentation to help somebody. I've been working for half my life on my career, and most of my life on my career since I was a kid, so I have a lot to teach the students, particularly young adults that work in the college environment, and I feel like I can help a lot of people, and at the same time maybe make a bit of money at the same time. So I'd like to do that. That would be a passion for mine, to get started on something like that. And I work very hard too. I work very hard on this, so I just have to finish some of the courses I'm taking. I want to take electronics engineering. I'm taking a teaching course. I want to do training up at the university with some real professors, and hopefully get involved with things I like. And it's not like you have to believe in everything you're studying or taking. It's just getting an idea of what they're actually thinking, and making the best of it, or not following the logic but creating your own logic. You know what I mean? So that's exactly what I do. So I take information and I make it 10 times better. I reverse engineer technology and science, and I reverse engineer the world around me. I very observant, and taking a glance at the environment around me and the technology around me, and how evolution has evolved over the last few decades. I can take that information and probably re-engineer it and make 10 times better, and so always trying my best, that's for sure. I can still remember the prerequisite I wrote back in 1997. It was an English prerequisite to get into Canada College, and it was on my interest in science. Science is a very special instrument. It could be used for greater knowledge for the world around us, or it could be used for destruction. And I still remember writing that, and I wrote I think it was like a 2-page prerequisite to get into Canada College, and I passed it, the mature student test, and I passed the equivalency, and I got into college pretty quickly. The mathematics came natural to me too. It was hard back then, because like I said, when you're first starting out, when you're young and learning things, it could be hard when you're first starting to learn things. But once after a few months in the classroom, it didn't take too long to accelerate into classroom setting and getting involved with students and participation and things like that. It was quite fun going there. You learn a lot, and there's always activities going on, and I particularly like going to the wall. But I would have my own group of friends at the wall. They're pretty quiet, non-drinkers, non-smokers, and some of them smoked a little bit, but back then you could smoke indoors. I kind of kept to myself. I was never with the popular group. I was more the average group, but my group of friends was pretty good. They were pretty cool, and I don't know why the popular people just didn't want to hang around with me. I wasn't like them, you know what I mean? I didn't do the things they did, but I enjoyed my group of people. They were pretty cool. We always had intellectual discussions, and every single day we had an intellectual discussion with them. And I kind of learned a lot from the older folks too. I always hung around the older folks in college, and I always hung around the more mature people. The popular ones were fairly immature. I mean, very, very immature. But like I said, I was ahead of my time back then too, and the older people kind of it was like we bonded right away with them, and it's just like opposite. Well, it was just like magnets. We came together all the time. I always came together with the elderly people more than I got along with them more than I got along with the younger people for some reason. I was a very mature soul, and we always had a good time talking about different topics. And we would sit there at the wall at the college and just practice mathematical equations. We were like the nerds, but the more elderly nerds, I guess. But it was quite fun there. I want to get back there again, and I bet you if I go back there again, I'll still be hanging around the elderly folks, and I just enjoy it, you know what I mean? And like I said, I have an elderly personality because I think I'm an old soul. I'm about 10,000 years old, I guess. I'm a very old soul, and I've been around the block, that's for sure. it's almost like a movie playing back in my mind in slow motion, because every time I'm doing things in life, it's like I did it before. I've already accomplished this, or it's like I can see everything in slow motion, and it's like I've been there and I've done that before. Everything I do in life, it's, speaking of old soul, it's almost like I feel like I'm about 10,000 years old, which is fairly old. Like I've been around the block, and I've experienced it even before I've experienced it, I'm trying to say. So it's like deja vu every day. It's like I've been there and done that even before I've done it. And when I'm speaking, it just, it's like I've done it before in my past life or something. That's why it comes so natural to me to speak and to help vocalize what I'm trying to say, because it's like I've done it before, you know what I mean? I've already been there. So that's what it's like for me every day. And even when I write essays, every time I'm writing an essay in my room by myself on a topic, it's like I've done that before. It's like I've read the book before, I've done the essay before, and that's why it comes so natural to me to do it. And I don't know, I guess I do have a lot of experience spiritually. I've been around, the universe, I guess. Who knows? I might have kids out there in outer space, so who knows? I may have multiple kids out there in outer space. I guess that's when you start talking about physics and astrophysics and parallel universes. And I did write a book about that. It was about 5,000 pages. And like I said, it's like I've been there before. I've done this before. And when I wrote my book, it's almost like, I've done it before, And astrophysics, it talks about, we could talk about parallel universes. We could talk about string theory, M theory, and all those types of theories that describe the world around us and how we interact with the universe as a physical entity, you know what I mean? So we are a physical entity in the universe, and everybody has their practical, we have their artistic, we have their philosophical views, we have our background, and we have our religion, we have our upbringing, and so on and so forth. And that all plays a role in our personality traits, and what we share with others. And it gets pretty deep, though. Like I said, I can't recall everything I've wrote about, but overall, it was a good book, and it took me a long time to write it. And it didn't take me that long time to write it. It only took me about a year to write the book. Like I said, it came naturally to me. I was writing 4 pages a day, and by the time the end of the year went around, I already had 5,000 pages. So, but it was a good book. I don't think I'll ever publish that book. It's just on my own perspectives and thoughts of what I think about the universe and what I think about the world around us, and my premonitions and my intuitive premonitions on everything I'm picking up around me. So it's kind of hard to describe in words sometimes, but when I get writing, I'm pretty articulate, and I can write this stuff out fluently and eloquently, I would say. Pretty eloquent in writing things down, and it just comes natural to me to write. So like I've been doing it for a while, but it's like it came natural to me the first day I tried writing when I was a kid. I always thought, when I was younger I couldn't do it, but as soon as I picked up a pen and started writing, it's like it came natural the first day I started. And that's how I all started when I was a kid. People were telling me to write because I was always talking about space physics and computer technology and the environment, and I had a strong passion to try to help the environment when I was a kid. People are always telling me, you got to go out there and write about this stuff. And when I started writing about it, it just came to me like so eloquently, and I really enjoyed it. But it's not like I'm ever going to publish these books, but it's just my own personal perspectives on the world around me.